Okay. It looks like we are live on YouTube. Let me just pull us up on YouTube and make sure that that is a true statement. Um, just to let everybody know, we did try to do a live on Facebook and it could be user error. I am not going to say that that Zoom did it all wrong because it may have actually been me. So, however, okay, well, my name is Sheila Corona, and you are watching this live. If you are watching this live, you're seeing it on Sassy C or Sheila. If you are seeing it on Facebook after the fact, and uh, also we Jason's got a new Facebook page that we will be linking in the show more section
Oh,
of
it's not
this
it's not my
video.
Facebook. It's not my Facebook.
Well, but it's inspired by you. Julie and Amber are handling it, yes. But it's inspired by you. It's going to be called Friends of Jason Gray. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah. That's
I'll
what
have all
I've
the
heard. I have no access to Facebook whatsoever, so I couldn't tell you what's going on there. But I'll be also posting it on X, and we'll get into that too, where Jason is these days.
yeah. So just to give everybody a little heads up about me, because I did do a live the other day to let everybody know uh, when I was contacted by Amber because I'll be honest with you, I had not seen my emails. I saw after I saw Amber's message on Messenger that they had removed your Facebook page. That's when I went to my email and found your email telling me, because I haven't been present. I'll be honest with you, until after, just a few days ago. I'm pretty sure this this being was separating from this physical vessel. And so, but now I'm cognizantly back in here and more present of mind. So, um, I didn't even see your email. It was only because Amber Field reached out to me through Messenger that I was made aware that your page had been removed. And now you're still not sure that it's been removed by Facebook or whether you were hacked and it was deleted that way. Is that correct?
Well, I'm more leaning towards the removal part at this point.
Yeah.
It's really, it's rather interesting. To be honest, I've never really dealt with anything like this before. Like I've been an administrator of other Facebook groups. Like some time ago, I was involved in doing a lot of writing and stuff like that, kind of anonymously for some pretty big groups in Canada here. And but I mean, I took the so I'll back up a bit, I guess. Like I guess where most of you found me was when I started writing and posting on the Ancient Order of the Hermetics group. And that was basically the only place you could see or find me until, I had some realizations about the guy that runs that group, and then I did some further investigation into him and found out he's not quite who he says that he is, and I questioned him on that, and then I was removed fairly quickly from that group because he was really afraid of being exposed for the fraud, the complete and total fraud that he is. And so I kind of took a little bit of a break there for a while, and he started deleting a lot of my work off of there and whatever. And then thankfully, I found out like I knew you were saving stuff, and then I found out there was some other people saving stuff, and then I got a really interesting email from you about a person, and this person does wish to remain completely anonymous, even to myself, still to this day, that had run basically that had basically constructed some type of a scraper program that scoured Facebook for anything, that had my, I guess, digital signature on it from my writing. And this anonymous person, reached out to you, and
And I want you to know that he reached out the first time that in his mind, you disappeared
yeah,
because
we don't even
he,
know if this is a he, but it's a he.
no, but
It's a
I'm
he.
feeling a male energy
Yeah, no,
and he called himself.
it's a he, and me and him now have,
Okay.
thankfully we managed to connect briefly on Messenger before, my ultimate despise there, and me and him, communicate through a different encrypted messaging app that we use to kind of talk about what's up, and a bit of a game plan and what he had planned and what I see, to be honest with you, it does look at this point like we're going to be starting to do some hard copy publishing, self-publishing. And I know from what he said, we were kind of looking maybe, I can't give us a date in stone because it's a lot of work, but this gentleman has, created something that, to be honest with you, I've never seen in my life before.
I'm telling you,
At the detail, I have never seen
blown away
anything.
is I was blown away by what he sent me.
Yeah, and so I'm so thankful and grateful that, someone, saw something in what I was doing, even to undertake a task like that, because a task like what this gentleman did, and you've seen it yourself.
Yes, I have.
I mean, it's thousands of hours of work. I mean, so the way that I look at it is, when I wrote my first manuscript, it's called Fragments of the Mind. And I have a one of one copy, and it's around probably 600 or 700 pages in a binder. And we've talked about this manuscript before. I have a few manuscripts now, one of one paper copies. But when I was talking to this gentleman, I said, it's interesting to see like the way he's indexed and cataloged and numbered, and all these like hyperlinks and whatever that work, and bring you to different places where, everything kind of combines, because what I did was I created the fragments, the puzzle pieces. And what he did is he put it together. And then now, once it's together, it's really quite something else.
No, you're so right. And the way the hyperlinks that you spoke on, it's indexable, it's searchable.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm not a like I mean, I'm a writer. I mean, I'm a construction worker that's a writer, okay?
Right, but all
But no, I'm a writer. I'm a writer.
yes, don't sell that short.
So then what happened was, is so after the Hermetics collapse, I really wasn't too sure what I was gonna do. I really wasn't sure, because, I still want to write. I took a break for a while. I'm sure me and you probably talked during that time. And then I looked at my own personal Facebook page, which has been my Facebook page for 20 years. I mean, all my pictures are on there. All my messages were in Messenger with my brother that passed away 3 years ago, with friends of mine that have passed away, with my family and my kids. And it was basically a place that I chose to archive my memories. Many of us probably do, with no, external backup. So, that's kind of a mistake on my behalf. But I mean, whoever really thinks, the messages, like, say me and you were talking on Messenger and I passed away, or you passed away, like, we always assume that those messages, between me and you, or you and whoever, or me and whoever, will always somehow be there in Cyberland. But I'm going to tell you right now, after what I've experienced, they won't. So I made the decision to start, just because I have no expectations from anything that I do. I never, anticipated the response to, my work that I started getting. I'd be getting messages from people, and I don't respond to a whole lot of people. I see a lot of the messages, and I don't want people to think like I'm ignoring them or whatever. I really don't have the time. I don't have the time. And sometimes, I'd open my, messenger inbox or whatever, and there's, hundreds of messages in there, people asking questions and whatever. And I wished, and I don't know what the future holds, but I wished I, was full time at this, and maybe I had a couple of assistants like you, and you could send out responses to all these people and whatever, and carry on conversations. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. So I decided to get back at her, and I started posting, my writing on my personal Facebook page. And it started off nothing. Like I just, but like I said, I'm not interested, in fame or fortune or anything like that. It's just something that I do because if I don't do what I do, the information builds up inside of me, and I feel like I'm going to explode. So what I do is I receive the information, I transmit it the way that it's supposed to be transmitted, and then I release it, and then it disappears, if that makes sense. I can't I can't continue, to intake information and not output the
Right,
information. So that's what I do, and it never stopped. And sometimes, it briefly stops. I'm working on a bit of a new project right now that's, rather it's even like interesting to me, to be honest. But so I started doing that, and then it started off one day, one like. That's how it starts. They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
right,
And the thing with me is that a lot of people don't realize is most people when they get knocked down, they stay down and they decide to exit the game. And that's not me. Like I mean I try to, Sheila. Like I really
I
I
told you.
try.
I knew it. I know. I
I,
told
I
you.
try, like I really, really have tried and say, okay, like this has to stop. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I mean, I see a purpose in it, just like I said from the messages of people, like, people have said, oh, they read my recovery posts, about me being in recovery and my struggles with addiction and stuff like that, and they got sober. I mean, that's amazing. Like that's really amazing from something that I put, it triggered something in them, to quit drinking or to quit using drugs or to go to AA meetings and whatever. And I mean, so I mean, if I even helped one person, it's basically mission accomplished,
Right,
mission accomplished. And then I just get, messages from people, just talking about basically how it's changed their way of thinking and looking at things because I think that's my ultimate goal as a writer is to, take how we're, programmed and make you, question everything
right,
because that's what I've done my whole life. And it's funny because when I was a young child, I used to ask tons of questions all the time. I want to know, I don't want to just know how it works. I want to know how it's built. I want to know where it's built. I want to know who it's built by. I want to know who it's designed by. I want to know how every little screw and spring that operates something works. Then I want to know where the spring is made and who designed the spring and where that came from until I completely dissect something to nothing. And I have and I have all the information. That's when I say I'm done. And I mean, most people don't think like that. They just accept at the surface level and carry on. And that's how the conditioning works. Like they don't want you to question. They don't want you to
that's
question.
right.
So it started off with a like, and I don't know how long I was posting on my Facebook page for. You may, know better than me. Maybe a couple months, 3 months, maybe a little bit better than three
I'm not
months.
sure how long you were already doing it because I didn't find you until late February, early
Yeah, I
March.
see. I was still posting on the Hermetics page then. Like I didn't start posting on my personal Facebook page until the
Right.
demise of the Hermetic page and what
Which
went down with
actually
that
is what
Taylor.
prompted me. I'll be honest with you, that's what prompted me to reach out and ask
Yeah.
your permission. I
Yeah, I think that
generally,
was in the summer because I remember clearly speaking to you for the first time, and I'm like, okay, who's this crazy lady? And
I generally do not ask permission to record the words that are freely placed on the internet.
yeah,
However, when I checked your personal Facebook page and I saw that you were not posting your words there, something within me said that I needed to ask your permission to record
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
And I'll not forget that. You said you had just been thinking about finding someone to
Well,
voice.
no. What I was thinking about when you called me, because I remember our conversation clearly. So I would always watch like these TikTok videos and whatever where they have like Morgan Freeman like narrating like stories or Jack Nicholson or whatever. And
Right,
I wanted to start to try to figure out like how do you do that? Like how do you like make these videos and stuff? And I never and then probably within days, like I was thinking hard about it. Like I was starting to research it a bit and I hadn't started playing around with any programs yet or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, yeah, you reached out to me and I'm pretty sure we spoke on the phone. And
not then, not then. That was just through
okay, well you had reached out to me then through
yes, and then we did a
Messenger.
FaceTime.
Yeah, and then you had asked my permission, and I said, yeah, absolutely, go ahead. And I think I remember saying like it's so weird because I've been thinking about this, and then you started doing the recordings, and then I like when I drive to work, like I sometimes, thankfully, I'm working pretty close to home right now, so it's kind of nice. But I would drive to work, and I remember listening to the first one, and I was just like fucking blown away, like. I was just blown away. I was totally blown away because when I'm writing and creating and doing the things that I do, like I hear my own voice, I hear my mind as, I'm working on things and whatever, I hear my mind. And then to hear, my work read by you. I mean, because everything like the transmissions are encoded, like obviously, like they're
Yeah,
they're encoded. And,
that's been my mission.
and I mean, the encoding in the transmissions, affects people, different ways.
Right,
I've had people, reach out to me and say, "Oh my God, like what is this? I just read it and I'm crying uncontrollably and and
right,
and whatever." I mean, so there's definitely something there. There was definitely something there to get that gentleman that worked on that file. I mean, to even get him to do that. Like, I mean,
right.
it's just not something normal people do. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not capturing screenshots and building a database of, people's vacation photos on Facebook that I don't know. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Or they're just
Exactly.
basic daily ramblings. Like so there's definitely something there. So I started back up writing again and I started like I realized that James Kaler was, he was either deleting a lot of my stuff from the Hermetics group and he was, plagiarizing and reworking a lot of my stuff, which is, the interesting thing about encoded transmissions is, once they're encoded, by the original carrier, you can try all you want to recode them. And the people that know will know that, this is wrong. Like I'll just leave it at that. Like there's no energy to them. They're dead.
Right.
They're dead. And no matter how hard you try, you'll never breathe life back into, stolen work
That's
ever,
right.
ever.
Yep.
And I've been doing this, for such a long time now. And, I worked on a project probably close to 2 years ago, and it was called the Codex of the Impossible. And I haven't really released, anything from that. But that's the project, that really took me way beyond, the veil, so to speak. And it made me, really look in some places that I really had never ventured before. I'd always kind of questioned, but I never, went further than questioning. Like I never, got on the path and, opened the door and, walked through it. And with that, I did. And it's been amazing. Like it's been a real, amazing experience. So back to my Facebook page. So I started posting and like I said, there was a like, then there was 2 likes, and there was 10 likes, then there was 50 likes, and there was 100 likes, and then there people were starting to share my stuff again. Like it was getting shared quite a bit off the Hermetics page. it was getting shared, all over the place. I've met people and I know people, I know my work has been translated into Polish. I've had a lady reach out to me that, everything's been translated and posted in blogs in Romania, in Germany, in Australia, in Africa. I mean, all over the USA, Canada. So I mean, it's everywhere. Like it's wild. Like to think that, I've made, an impact like that. And I mean, I don't let it go to my head or nothing. I like to say like I'm just a normal, regular, person, like just like you. And I mean, but I obviously, I'm gifted at some things, but everybody has their gifts as well. Once you learn to see them and to learn to use them and to learn what they're all about. And the project I'm working on now, it kind of gets more into that end of things, and it's really in a really interesting flow state right now. But so yeah, so I mean, my Facebook page, and then it gave me some option one day to become like a creator or something like that, a creator profile. And I said, yeah, I guess I'll click on that, and now I'm a creator profile, and so it went from like 100 likes to 200 likes and 300 likes, and then it went to 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, followers in a very, very, very rapid time frame. Like I'm talking within 30 days. I mean, it's on
This
fire.
is your own personal page you're speaking?
My own personal page. Yeah, it went like it was on fire. Like it was literally on fire. Like I mean, 10,000 followers, like to me, when I look at, you know, profiles that have, millions and millions of followers and stuff like that, but still, if I'm doing, 10,000 plus followers in 30 days, you can do the math on see where that ends up in 2 years or 3 years. I mean, it goes up there fast. And some of the posts that I made, like one post just before I was shut down, I think it was shared around 3,000 times. So every post I read like before when I was involved in some social media campaigns, for every post that's shared one time, I think it's either 10 or 100 people will see that one shared post. So when a post is shared 3,000 times, like do the math on that. If either 10 people or 100 people see that, like it just spreads like wildfire. And it's dangerous. I guess I'm a dangerous individual because, I write the truth and I don't sugarcoat anything, and I really don't mean, to cause any harm, but obviously, to the system or the machine or the powers that be, whatever you want to call it, I'm a dangerous person. And so what had happened was is all of a sudden, yeah, everything's on fire now, and I clicked post on a post that I had made. I guess it was maybe around a week or so, maybe a little bit longer ago. And all of a sudden, I'm locked out of everything. I'm locked out. Messenger, Facebook. I can't access it on my phone. I can't access it on my personal computer. I can't. And I mean, I really like, I'm on a computer in the house right now. I mean, I don't really use a computer very much. I do everything, strictly mobile. And like 99% of everything I do is mobile. And yeah, and now for I don't know, 10 days or a week or whatever, I have tried absolutely every imaginable way to either get back in because I wasn't sure if I was hacked or not, and someone, changed my phone number, changed my email. But I mean, the other thing is too is I have all these like when I did my two-factor authentication with Facebook, I have like this list of like 10 or 20 recovery codes. And I've run all those through there. I've run, everything I can possibly think of, and it's just one big circle of nothingness. You absolutely cannot contact Meta or Facebook. You can't. It's impossible. It is absolutely impossible. And if anyone here watching this, knows a phone number to call somebody or knows an email that somebody will actually read, I would be more than grateful to have that email. I reached out, to the CBC Go Public here in Canada about, what happened to me. I mean, because I don't really care about the writing part of things. I care more about my pictures and my messenger messages with my brother and some of my friends, my very close friends that have passed away, and pictures we had together because
Well,
all of that was on there, and I got locked out of absolutely everything, everything.
and see, that's what when you told me that, I went and looked at my messenger, and I still have a messenger account with you. I can see all of our
Yeah,
messages.
you see,
Just,
you can see them,
but
but
you're
I can't.
right, you cannot,
I can't even. I'm kicked out of Messenger. I can't even
right,
access Messenger.
and your picture is not there. It says your name,
Yeah,
but your picture is not there.
gone, gone. Yeah.
And all of our messages are still there. I can scroll through
Yeah,
them.
because you're not banned. That's why I'm banned for God only knows what reason. But it was funny because I've been doing a lot of investigation on how to contact Meta and how to contact Facebook, and I've been on all sorts of different Reddit forums and whatever. And I've been seeing story after story after story of people like, oh, I ran a travel blog on there. It had 50,000 followers and this and that. For no reason they shut me down. Or, just like little old lady, had a big recipe or cooking thing going on Facebook and she had, 20 or 30 or 40 or 50,000 followers and goes in one day and she's shut down. So, I mean, I don't really understand, where Meta is. So it was interesting, like the really interesting part, and it's almost like I don't even think it's a coincidence. And you're the medium, so you know more about this kind of stuff than I do. But I also know a little bit about it too, because I don't tell anyone, I kind of practice in, some of the same fields as you do as well. But about a month, I would say, before I finally got the hook on Facebook, I had, for some unknown reason, I had started an X account. And I mean, I know why now.
Yes.
But at the time that I started it, I didn't have any idea why I was even starting that because I've never looked at X ever before, ever. Like I've scrolled through there the odd time or whatever, but I've never, been a subscriber or signed up for it or anything like that. And I'm there now, and my X profile is Jason Gray at Living Lattice, LivingLattice, and that's where I currently am now, me and my 120 followers from
Well,
10,000.
and
But like
I
I
will
said, it's never been about that.
I
And
will
I
also
was
be putting a link to that in the show more section of this video. But now I want to say a bit about that. You and I did talk about that when we did connect about this whole thing. And I like what you said there. Yes, the larger portion of you felt this coming, and that's why you signed up for the thing on X. And I truly believe, by the way, that that's the same for everyone. Every being on this planet is divinity incarnate, and it's just whether or not you are recognizing that, and whether we believe it or not, or know it or not. Those kinds of things, some people would call it a coincidence or whatever,
Well,
but
it's
that
not a
is
coincidence. I see that clearly
right.
now.
I know that's
But
what you meant.
at the time, like I didn't see it coming. Like I really,
Right, of course
I
not.
really didn't truly see it coming. Like I mean, did it surprise me? Yes. I mean, because of course, I can tend to, go into some fairly I don't even know what the word is. Not I can go into some fairly interesting, topics about things, but I'll tell you this, everything I posted. You know, I believe it to be the truth. I believe it to be the truth. I don't expect you to believe anything that I say whatsoever. I don't expect anything from you. I don't expect anything whatsoever. I mean, that's up to you as a reader, of my work to make the decision, what does this do for me? What is this telling me? Question it. And
Right,
I always say
exactly.
that, like, question everything. And I think you always say, if someone ever comes and tells you that they know everything, run, run, run. And I mean, I don't pretend to know really anything because I mean I could be completely wrong too. I really truly could be. But the thing with me is that makes me think, I'm onto something is the reaction from people, the positive reaction, the positive reaction. And there's been some negative reaction too. And I understand, the negative reaction comes from people that are extremely threatened by someone like myself.
Right.
And that doesn't bother me whatsoever. I mean, I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of anything at all, nothing. I mean, I've been knocked down more times than a person can even count. And I've risen every single time again and again and again and again.
Yeah. I feel you
And
on that, pal.
yeah, so I started up an X account and something really interesting because X is like it's not Facebook. It's
Oh,
X. And I mean it's a totally different platform. It's a big learning curve like and I signed up for, a premium account and then I, verified myself with my government identification and everything like that because I have nothing to hide. I like this is who I am. I'm running under my name. I mean, it's verified. Like I sent them my driver's license and the whole nine yards. So, they can follow me around on facial recognition or whatever they do these days, for people like me. Well, for people like everybody now in 2025. But the interesting thing about X is with my premium account because I was trying to figure out, how to because it allows me to post. If you don't have a paid for account, you can only post on the free accounts for 280 characters, which 280 characters is like three sentences basically, or maybe like a half a paragraph or whatever. And then I noticed, so I was looking at my options for X, and I wanted to continue, publishing my writing the same way it was on Facebook. And so I started looking at my options on X, and then I seen, well, if I get a premium account, I can post 25,000 characters. I'm like, okay, well, that's perfect. So I'm using the X app from the App Store on an iPhone. And I just picked up a new iPhone yesterday. I got an iPhone 17 Pro Max. So if anyone's looking for a new iPhone, I mean, check those ones out. I mean, they're pretty. I had a 14 Pro Max, and then I ended up giving that to my middle boy, and I've upgraded. I don't think I needed it, but my middle boy needed a new phone desperately because he was still using an iPhone 10. So I figured, yeah, my contracts are up and for quite a while now, and whatever. And I mean, I can afford it and whatever, and it really helped him out, to have a new phone. His battery, he said, would die within 5 minutes of unplugging it, and whatever. So I felt good about, helping him and he gets a new phone. But so anyways, I was using the app and I couldn't get around this. I'm like, hey, I'm verified. I'm supposed to be getting this, whatever. And unlike Facebook, I reached out to X support. And I use like an AI chatbot to, I guess that's what X support runs at first is like an AI chatbot to figure out, what's your problem and this and that. So I told the chatbot what was my problem, and the chatbot responding says, "Oh, here's a ticket number for your query." And I got a ticket number, and I wasn't really thinking too much, and it said it was going to send my concerns or my questions to the support team. And within a day, I had a message from a real person at X, which I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe it.
wow.
I mean,
Yeah, that
a
sounds.
message from a real person at a social media company, unlike Facebook or Meta. I mean, maybe Elon Musk hopefully at some point buys them. Like he could. I mean,
Yeah,
he
you
isn't the
could.
richest man in the world. He couldn't. It would be really nice if he did. Whether that happens or not, I doubt it. Because
Yeah.
I still personally think like the CIA owns Facebook. But that's a
Well,
whole
don't
that's a
misunderstand it. You're correct.
that's a whole other story. I mean, think of a platform where we willingly, I mean, especially with the development of facial recognition software, think
Yes,
about, what a better way to get everyone's names, photographs, their children, everything they do, every move they make, and you voluntarily feed this into a system.
absolutely. Listen, I'll tell you, I decided that that is exactly what it was when that whole thing started going around about to post pictures of yourself from 10 years ago
Oh,
and now.
yes.
I
Yeah.
knew, when that came out, I was like, oh yeah, y'all go ahead, y'all go right ahead. You are training facial recognition,
Yeah.
make no
Oh,
mistake.
absolutely, Sheila. There's no doubt about it, and I'm sure that applies to all social media. Like it's funny too when me and the guy that made that thing, like we communicate over a supposedly heavily encrypted messenger service that I don't think is, too commonly used, but it's what we use. And but I kind of laugh when, people think that these are really encrypted. Like I think the more secure they tell you they are,
The heavily, more
the
heavily
more the
involved,
more the government is watching these things, for
more than likely.
like when you think you're totally, private and secure in conversation, that's where, all the, drug cartel people are like, oh, we'll use this. We'll never get caught. And then the next thing you know, the SWAT team's coming through the door. Well, how did you find me? Well, you used our app. You used our app.
Yep.
You
I
used our
wouldn't
app.
doubt it. I would not doubt that one bit, to be
So
honest.
so anyway, so I started on X and I so when I got the message back from tech support at X, they told me just to basically run through my browser and open X that way, and then put a link to my home screen for, once the browser is logged in and whatever on X, and then I should have my problems should go away. And because they said there's some type of a glitch they can't seem to work out with the app, with the 25,000 character word limits, there's something wonky and they can't seem to fix it. But so I thanked them and I did what they instructed me to do, and everything's working. Everything's working again.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I've kind of, you know, I found my flow again on a little bit of a project I've started working on, and it's all on X, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting, for myself, for the information, for the people reading it, and where it's gonna go, I'm really not too sure, but I know that it's nowhere near complete right now, and it's just kind of getting off the ground. Like when I looked at, that file that we were sent or you were originally sent, like I mean that file is like 3,200 pages in 12 months.
I know. Now let me ask you about that.
3,200 pages, Sheila.
Did you make him aware that you are now doing this on X so that
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We
okay.
chat. We're chatting now
Okay,
on a
I just want to
on
make
a
sure
daily
because
or every
and
second.
does he plan on continuing to call them into and
I really we haven't really talked too much about that,
okay.
and I think
Well,
from our conversations, he wishes to remain 100% anonymous, and
right.
I com
That's exactly
I
the indication I
completely
got as well.
completely respect that. Because I mean, I know, what that means to some people, and I can understand why some people choose to do that as well. And I'm just grateful, for what this person has done. Like it's like I mean, I'm thinking about it right now, and I mean, it's unbelievable. I haven't really had an opportunity yet to pull the file up on my. I'm sitting at my home computer now, and it's got like this 30-inch monitor or whatever, and I haven't had the opportunity yet to load the file up on, where I can see it on this. I'm looking at it on my iPhone.
Well, I'll be honest with you, the biggest reason I was asking that question is that the only way for me to interact with you privately on X is for me to also have a verified account or a premium account. And I have no,
You
I,
can't even send me like there's not a little mail button there you can click on.
um, no, apparently you have to be verified and you have to have the premium in order to, I
See,
mean,
I
I
don't
could,
I don't know I don't know how any of that works. 'Cause I've been
well,
getting
and
some
again,
messages
I
on
could be
X.
totally wrong too,
Yeah.
but because I don't,
Maybe have a look closer at it. Like you might just have to verify your
I
identity or
do know
something like
that
that.
we cannot use the private messaging service because you are verified and I am not.
Okay.
And I don't mind getting verified. What I cannot do is I just can't do it. I have too much going out every month to be
Well, no, no,
a
even like
premium.
even if you can just get verified, like I mean, I have
Well,
no
I'll look
getting
into
there.
it. I'll look
Yeah,
into it, but that's probably the only thing I'll be able to do.
yeah.
That is the entire reason I was asking the question about the gentleman that's been gleaning your work
Yeah,
because
we're not communicating. I don't even know, like I don't like he is so anonymous, I honestly don't even know his name. Okay.
no, same. I
And
got
and
that.
and
That's
and but
why.
we've conversed enough now that I have like a feel, I think of his energy pretty good. And I mean I'm okay with him. Like I'm really okay with him. Like
Okay, well, I'll
and
let you
and,
I'll let
and
you
like
feel
like
that
like like
because
for example, like when me and that William Kaler of the Hermetics group first started conversing. I mean, I had a negative vibe, like something else never come off that guy ever. Like it was unbelievable because I knew he was a total and complete fraud, a fraud of like it's unbelievable. Like I mean, a guy claiming to be a US military vet
no, I'm
that
aware and I don't want you to
absolutely
get yourself worked up about him. Don't
is
let him rent no
not.
space in
No,
your
no, no,
home.
that's fine. But I mean, I'm just using that as an example from how I felt from communicating with him to how I feel about communicating with the person that created this. It's totally a different energy altogether. And
I
I'm like,
gotcha. Well, I'm glad that you feel that way. Personally, myself, I totally respect the need to and the desire to remain private. I do not, however, understand anyone that doesn't want to at least have a conversation. To me, that I,
that's just, you
and
want to know,
I'll let
Sheila,
you handle
that's
that
just the way
because
that he is.
that's fine by
That's just
me.
the way that he is, and you just have to accept it. Some people wish to
And
really
I do.
get on.
I don't prefer it. That's all I
Yeah.
can
No,
say.
no, and I respect his decision because I've seen
Me
the work
too.
that I see the work that he's doing, and I respect the work that he does because he's obviously very talented when it comes to, programming and computers and all sorts of. Maybe he's one of my CIA handlers for all I know from Gateway.
Maybe I don't know. See for me, that's where I go.
Yeah.
Is everything that wants to remain secret, there's a reason for the
Yeah.
secrecy.
Yeah.
At any rate, Julie was saying, I don't have a premium X account and I can use the messaging section. I can use the messaging section, Julie. What I cannot do is I cannot use the messaging section with someone who is a verified account, not being non-verified,
Well,
because
no,
there's
because
another,
if Julie doesn't have a premium account, like I mean, we've been chatting back and forth because of the Facebook page that her and Amber have created, and
right.
we chat back and forth on X.
Julie, are you verified? Being verified and having a premium account are two different things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm verified and
The
have a
reason I
premium
know
account.
this is because there's another being. Well, as a matter of fact, I found him about the same time as I found you, and I invited him through private message to come and have a conversation with me because I recorded some of his work, and I'm speaking on B at Quantum Tumblr on X, and I sent him a private message. And I got a notification later on that I couldn't DM with this person because they have a verified account and I do not.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to check into that deeper. There's got to be a way, and either way, it doesn't really matter because me and you communicate through text message
Right.
or
And that's what I was going to say
whatever.
to you.
So.
That's what I was going to say to you, all of this to get to this point right here. In the event, I mean, if you do desire that I continue to record your work once I come back to recording, which is hopefully going to be this coming up week, as it's just taken me until this week to get to where I feel like I could. Um, I you'll need to have another way of sending me your work. I won't have a
Well, all the new work's on X.
okay, you're not hearing me. I don't know that I will be able to glean all of it, the 25,000. Will I be able to see it all without a premium account?
Oh, absolutely. I can't. It's not you that
Okay.
needs the premium account. It's me that needs it to post at that length.
Okay. All
Oh
right.
yeah, absolutely. You'll be able to see. You're gonna have to take some time and go in there and kind of just look around and feel it out because it's a totally different platform. Like it's nothing like Facebook. And the thing with Facebook is, everybody has like this Facebook tunnel vision. Facebook, Facebook. There's nothing other than Facebook. And even I had that as well.
Right.
And like just from my experience where I was talking about just dealing with X tech support for a question that I had, and to actually have contact with a human
Right.
X. I mean, Meta is disgusting, and what they've done to me and what they've done to millions of probably millions of other people is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
No, you're right. I want to share with you that Angela column 9895 said, I can't seem to get away from the handlers. I guess you can only hope for a good one, huh? Watching from the shadows and sending my love to you both. Thank you, Angela. Well, the truth of the matter is I have come to feel that even the handlers, even whatever, for me anyway, I now recognize that it all serves some purpose.
Well, sure it does.
And it's only what I choose to make of any of it that whether I'm miserable behind it or not. Because for a long time, a lot has happened to me in my life where I was seeing things from that victim mindset and being miserable from that direction.
Well, I understand that completely because I mean
Oh, great. Thank you,
I lived the
Julie.
life of the victim as well. Like until I realized I wasn't the victim, I'm the
Right?
creator. I'm the creator. I mean, I wake up every day and I create, what's my day gonna look like?
Right.
What's my day gonna look like? Because that's really all I can really create is, what's my environment gonna look like right here now in the present?
Right.
I can try to create what's gonna happen next Friday, but I can rest assured it's not gonna happen. And
Mm,
that's just setting myself up, for disappointment and
exactly.
sadness and I mean just disappointment after disappointment because I have these demands. Now I don't I wake up in the morning and I mean tomorrow I know I have to go to work at a certain time, so I'll jump in my truck and I'll go to work. And but I mean I don't make all these like big plans and grand designs like I used to and all these ideas of grandeur and whatever and I'm not really a member of the rat race like I once was. Like when I was younger, like I mean I worked in oil and gas. I'm a Red Seal crane operator by trade. I'm a tradesman. And I mean when I was working in oil and gas, like I used to make big money and I thought at a time that oh, I've arrived. This is what life is all about, He who dies with the most toys wins.
Yes, that's
Okay?
that's what they teach
He who
everybody.
dies with the most toys wins. And I used to, believe that because I mean, I used to see, I'd be driving my $500 car and some guy would pull up beside me in a brand new Corvette and I'd be like, "Oh, I wish that was me. I wish that was me." And until, a series of events happened and all that kind of went away. And just even my life through addiction and some of the challenges that I went for, like all I worry about today, do I have enough money for today? Do I have food, a roof over my head? I mean, am I grateful? And someone told me once too, when you have nothing, you give thanks and gratitude for having nothing. A lot of people don't understand that because they've never had nothing. Okay, I've had nothing. I've been on the streets. I've been homeless. I've been broken. I've been on the verge of death. I mean, I've, lived it. I mean, I've lived it. Haven't just read about it or heard about it. I have personally lived it and then somehow managed to pull myself out of it and then do all this work that was required, to rebuild my life from nothing. And the day that that stopped was the day I only had two options left. Either Jason, I remember hearing a voice, Jason, what's it going to be? You're either going to live or die. That's all that's left. And I have to decide right now, the voice said, you have to decide right now, what's it going to be? And you want to know, Sheila, for a decade, at the very least, for a decade, I would say probably even longer, I used to go to bed every single night and say, I want to die. I want to die. I would take me in my sleep, I want to die. And for some reason on that night, I said, I want to live. I want to live. But here's the scariest part is I had no idea how to live. I had no idea how to live because I never, I never got, that instruction manual. I heard it said somewhere before, humans, when we come, we don't come with an instruction manual because if we did, the instruction manual would be very simple, okay? It would say something like, when broken, return to maker.
Oh, I like that, actually.
When broken, return to maker. Because most people, live by, self-will, self-propulsion, all about me and I.
Well, and the truth of the matter is that kind of programming has happened for, you know, time immemorial. And we are now, some of us are beginning to realize that that programming and conditioning was not correct. And one really to blame. We've done it to each other for generation after generation after generation. However, I feel a shift and I actually see a shift. I don't just feel it anymore. I see a shift in the way that
Oh, it's
some
happening. It's
are
happening.
actually moving through their lives in a different way. And the children that are coming in are not falling for some of the programming and conditioning.
No, but they're receiving a new type of
Mhm.
programming and conditioning that is even, I would say, 1,000 times more harmful
In
than the
some cases,
programming
yes.
than the programming and conditioning that we receive. But rest assured, Sheila, this is all coming to an end. It's
Well,
happening.
that's what I was saying. In some
It's
cases,
happening. It's
yes.
happening.
What I was referring to is that the ones that are coming in now are not going to be as easily programmed in that manner. I
No,
felt.
no, no, but they're still just as easily programmed, but
Oh, they can be, but it
they're
won't be as
receiving a
easy.
different program. They're receiving a different program than the ones we received.
Yeah, I
They're
guess
receiving like
maybe
they're
I'm.
receiving like the updated, they're receiving like the updated, ultra Marxist, program is what they're receiving. Like,
Yeah, there is a
government,
certain segment
the
of the
government,
population that it would
the government is
appear
never
does
to be
that.
questioned. And when you go to bed at night, you bow your head in prayer and you say your prayers to the government.
I realize that there is a certain segment of the population that does seem to be getting that sort of programming, but not all of the
No,
young
no,
people are.
it's not all because I'll tell you this, the elite children, the children of the elites are not receiving that programming. The children of the regular day citizen like me and you and whoever's watching, they are receiving that programming. And they are receiving it starting as early as they can begin to receive it, just like we did. It's interesting. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about technology and the changes in the world. And I'm 51, and you're older than me, so you'll remember this too. Like when we were say two, we picked up for a toy. We had a little wooden square cube, and it had a letter and a number on it, right? A letter and a number on it, and that's what we picked up as a child. Okay, a child that's 2 years old picks this up. This is what they pick up now. They don't pick up the block. So I mean, that's how things have changed. And for us to see the world in 2025, because we come from the old world before the overlays changed, before the lattice was created with the 5G that's going on now, and this God only knows what they're doing, like with whatever. I mean, it's messed up. And I don't want to say too much about it because you'll get shut down next, and then I'll have black Suburbans chasing me around. But but I'm not gonna say anything much more than that. But I mean, anyone that knows, you know what I'm talking about. And I mean, so we remember the old world. Like we were raised pre-computer, pre-cell phone, pre-technology, two channels on TV. I remember being at my cousin's farm in rural Saskatchewan, and I'd be watching TV in the middle of the night on a black and white TV, and I'd have these tinfoil things. Okay, I would
Yeah.
hold on to these tinfoil balls on these two antennas on the television, and I'd
Yep.
have to move them around, and I'd move these two tinfoil things around, and if I was lucky, I maybe could tune into a television show.
Yep. And
Or
you were
if I
lucky.
was lucky, I could maybe tune into a radio channel. You
Yep.
know what I mean? That's the world that we come from. Like
Yes.
we come from the old world. But a child born, if a child was to be born tonight on November the 30th of 2025, they enter the world. All of this is normal to them. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? This is all normal because this is the world they're brought into, just like the world we were born into was normal to us. And now as evolution has transpired, well, the world doesn't look normal to us anymore.
No, that's true.
But it was normal for a long time. But to these children, this will be normal too until there's a big, shift like we experienced. Because there'll be more shifts and shifts and shifts and shifts. But unfortunately or fortunately, we don't have that much time. We really truly don't have that much time. Like it's collapsing. Like it's happening. It's really happening because in all honesty, just look at the debts of our government and look at the debts of civilization and look at the food scarcity, which is all like being, deliberately made to look certain ways. This is unsustainable. This is completely unsustainable. It's gonna blow up.
Well, here's the thing about all of that, Jason, for me anyway. And I want to just let you know that Julie was letting me know that she and Amber are gleaning your work from X and placing it in the Friends of Writer Jason Gray Facebook page. Which Julie, please send me a link via email if you wouldn't mind, and I'll make sure that that specific link gets into this show more section of this video, so folks can go there and follow that page as well as following you on X, which I will
Yeah.
also include that
And,
link.
and I want to say too, like I don't know if anyone's watching us or who's gonna see this video, but I also want to say too with this Friends of Jason Gray Facebook page that has been started. I just want to ask everyone just to keep sharing the posts and keep sharing the work. Do not let them silence us. Do not let them silence. It could because it's not just me. It's not about me. It's about everyone. And if you decide to, venture into X land or whatever, and I mean another thing too is I had someone mention to me today a while ago that they were kind of apprehensive about X because of Elon Musk and this and that as the owner. Okay, I don't look at anything like that. All I look at is I need a platform. Okay, that's the platform. I don't care who owns it.
Well,
I, I
I want to
really, I
share
really don't
with
care
you
who
about
owns
that. Not only that, okay, just so that if those people happen to hear or watch this video, let me share this part. My own internal guidance has shared with me. That is the reason that I keep coming back, because your frequency, the frequency that you emit, that your writing emits, that my recordings of your writing emits, is desired, required, needed on those platforms. So, regardless of who's doing what to whom, or however you might feel about whoever owns it, that is the way I look at it.
Well, and you're
It's
you're absolutely correct. You're 100% correct. You're absolutely correct. And
that's
but the
what
thing
my
is, when we
guidance
go
has
back to the
been.
conditioning, when we talk about the conditioning, lots of these people that say I refuse to go on X because Elon Musk owns it. Well, what's happened to them? They have been conditioned by the media to think that Musk is some type of a villain,
Right.
which he isn't. Like, I mean, the guy's sending rockets to the flippin' space. He has defense contracts like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I think I personally I would rather trust Elon Musk, and I really don't know much about the guy. I mean, he makes Tesla cars. He's done a lot of innovative stuff. What has Mark Zuckerberg done? What has Mark Zuckerberg, what has he done? What has he done? He's a little nerd from that dropped out of Harvard, started this Facebook thing, made obscene amounts of money off of selling your soul and your data.
Right.
But I mean, what has he done? What has Meta done?
Well,
Nothing.
and
Nothing.
to your point, though, and to anyone and everyone who would consider this, it doesn't matter what anybody actually else is doing or has done. It is a frequential bit thing. This is all about frequency, and it is all about coherence, coming into coherence, and what that coherence would be. And without, this is the way my guidance shows me, without our frequency being in the mix, that allows a different frequency to come into coherence.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
That's where people have to look past. They have to look past, you know, X is owned by Elon Musk or Facebook is owned by this. It doesn't matter the platform. It
and
doesn't. You're
and
exactly
just
correct.
because you're told that this one, that one, the other one, I came to this conclusion some time ago, because back when I first was, waking up to the geopolitical corruption on the planet, I was just like every other conspiracy theorist. I was covering my camera. I was trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah, yeah.
remove myself from the system and all that. And and I thought to myself, that is actually giving them more credit and more power by acquiescing and believing that they can do, are doing what they claim they can or are doing. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what my internal guidance guides me to do. Now, if your internal guidance tells you not to go on X, don't go on X.
Exactly. Exactly.
If your internal guidance tells
No,
you,
but here, wait. I'm going to stop you there for 1 second because I want to say something about what you just said.
okay,
If your internal guidance tells you not to go on X, it is time for you to ask, where is that internal guidance coming from for starters? Okay? Because your mind is not you, and your mind usually is not your friend. Okay? It is not. It is not. Your mind is not you. That's a really hard thing to wrap your head around.
well, folks, you're right about making sure what it is you're claiming your internal guidance is. That's true. I get
But
it.
what
But is
told
it your mind or your
what would
guidance?
tell
Because
you
there is
what
a
would tell
difference.
you that thought not to go on exit? Was it something, you didn't even watch on the television, but say you were standing beside a TV somewhere and it was on tuned into CNN and the frequency of the message that they are delivering went into your brain, okay, and somehow rooted itself in there to eventually give you this thought that you attribute to yourself, which it isn't, that X is bad, Elon's bad, Trump is bad, Biden's bad, they're the enemy, left, right, purple, black, black, white, this and that. Like, I mean, I don't like these people, I don't like those people, I don't like immigrants, I don't like this. Why? Well, because why? They're people. They're people. But I mean, something has screwed itself via a frequency, okay, via a frequency of some type, somewhere. It could even be the frequency of your parents' voice telling you something as a child, because everything is based on frequency for the messaging and the programming. Like, I mean, when you think about it, you drive around and we got all these 5G towers and everything right now and whatever, right? You don't think that there's frequencies, entering into our house and entering into our bodies and entering into our minds that are being projected, that we can't see. Like I said to my buddy the other day, I had my truck, some work done on my truck about maybe a couple months ago, and I paid him by e-transfer. So I had my phone and we were in his shop or his garage and I sent him the money and he goes, "Yeah, I got it." So I said to him, I said, his name's John. I won't say his last name, but I said, John, I said, I want you to tell me something. I said, how did you get that money? He says, well, you e-transferred to me. I said, so how did, and Sheila, it is in the blink, it is even in faster
Oh, I know.
than the blink of an eye. So somehow when I pressed send, it traveled at a speed even faster than the speed of light somewhere, routed itself through my account and whatever, and ended up transferring a digital number into his bank account. But obviously, whatever this is that does this is floating around the air all around us.
Mhm.
I said, how is that possible? Explain that to me. Oh, I can't, he says. Well, and I can't either. Like, I mean, I'm sure if I sat down and, started like talking to some, PhD in computer science that's, into like all that kind of weird technology stuff and whatever, I mean, maybe I could start to wrap my head around it, but I don't even want to ever get into anything like that because I mean, I can't. Like, I mean, I just do what I do. And, so yeah, but I mean, this is all having a huge, tremendous effect on me, and I just wanted, to come on with you tonight and kind of, give a bit of a backstory about what happened, and hopefully some people will see that I'm still around because I mean, Facebook really tried to like wipe me off the face of the earth, like it's unbelievable, and the thing with me is I don't quit. I mean, I don't quit. Like I mean, and I thought about it. Like I mean, I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I mean, and the withdrawal, like the flipping withdrawal, because I mean, Facebook's been my constant companion, like my friend for 20 plus years. For 20 plus years. That's where my friends are. That's where my family is. That's how I make plans. I use Messenger. I see pictures of my cousins. I share pictures of my kids with my family that's scattered all over the place. Like I don't, and then the other part was too, is I'm like, oh my God, like how am I going to get a hold of Sheila? I don't have her phone number. How am I going to get a hold of Amber or whoever that was helping me out and doing these recordings and whatever? Like my only way of communication with lots of people was Messenger. I mean, when do we ever exchange personal phone numbers anymore? Never.
I know. I
Or
know.
even
Well, I'm
email,
glad we got that.
even email is a thing of the past.
Yeah,
Thankfully, we have communicated before via email. And
right.
thankfully, I had your email because I was able to reach out to the person that's involved in the other work and, get a hold of him and then to explain like what was going on and yada, yada, yada. Because I mean, everyone, like all of a sudden I'm there and I mean, and it's on fire. I mean, or it's building a big fire. And then all of a sudden, and when they take me out, everything that anyone has posted or shared or anything, it is wiped out instantly everywhere, all over the place. But the one thing I noticed is if you go into the search bar of Facebook and you type in hashtag Jason Gray, Gray, all together, there was people that had actually, instead of just sharing my posts, they had actually copied the text, pasted the text into their Facebook, and transferred the picture with the text, and then credited me in there, like hashtag Jason Gray or whatever. So it's still floating around all over the place. But anything that if you just clicked share and then post on your Facebook account, like directly from my page, it's wiped out. It is wiped out everywhere, everywhere. But there is still lots of little snippets and bits and pieces around, and it's all going to be coming back slowly through what Julie and Amber have taken upon themselves to do, and I'm very, grateful for them too. Like they're
Thank
amazing
you.
people. You're an amazing person, Sheila. Like we've built this relationship, and I keep a very, very small circle of, people that I talk to and people that I communicate with and people that I ultimately respect. And I mean, I am so grateful. You have as well have put in now probably hundreds of hours of recordings. I mean, it has been phenomenal. And I know you don't do it for money, and I know you don't do it for fame or followers or anything because I mean, we're the same. I got 120 followers on X, and you've had how many followers? But the whole thing is, Sheila, if it reaches one person, just one, it
No,
is a
you're right.
success. It
I've
is a
always been very
success.
clear. I've always been very clear through all of my YouTube channels, because this is now my third one, that I'm not doing this for anybody but me.
Yeah.
I did share with you that I only record your work that I am moved to record
Yeah.
when I am moved to
And you
record
don't
it,
read it beforehand.
and I don't read it beforehand. Because that has always been my guidance, and now I can see very clearly why that is. Because I am showing myself some things about myself through this particular exercise of doing it in that particular way.
Oh, absolutely. I'm learning myself as well. Like, I mean,
Right.
once I'm done and then I reread things and whatever and go back and read things like it seems like every
Right.
time I read it, it's almost like a living text. Like the meaning changes, something's different. Like, I mean, it's like you read a book and then you read it again a year later. It's a totally different meaning to it.
Exactly. And I cannot help but notice for myself the synchronicities that have been involved in every single one of your writings when I feel moved to record it, what it says, what it's showing me, what I've been moving through at that particular moment. I've also been very clear that yes, what you said, if it helps somebody else, I'm doing it for me. But if one person is moved or helped or shown something about themselves, I count that as a win-win. And that's really all that is for me personally. And yeah, because as I said, my own internal guidance has to do with the interjection of frequency into this system. Because I when I first started Conscious Conversation Central back in 2017, I used to think, oh, we're going to wake people up. We got to wake everybody up. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. What I now know is that it's an inside job.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
waking up nobody that isn't ready, first
You're
of
not
all.
waking even one of the not even that, Sheila. You're not waking up anybody. We're not waking
No, you're only
the only ones
waking
we're waking
yourself
up is
up.
ourselves.
That's right. That's all. And we got to quit. We got to get out of that mindset. Everybody who thinks they got to wake up their friends and their family, stop that.
Well, it's like, and I've written about this countless times. Like, oh, I follow this person, or I follow the Bible, or I follow Jesus, or I follow Buddha, or I follow Krishna, or I follow whoever, and it's Christ consciousness. And what's it going to be next week? Something totally different. And oh, I need to follow this or do this. And and then it dawned on me like, follow yourself. I don't need to follow like on X it was funny because I followed a few people at first. Like when people were starting to follow me, I'd follow them back. And if you were one of those people and you're watching this and I'm not following you anymore, I don't want you to take any offense to it or whatever. But I follow, and I even noticed that on my Facebook account. I followed the only person I followed on my Facebook account because I actually followed at one time around 300 different pages and groups and this and that and a few people here and there, and I got rid of them all. And there was only one person at the end. For some reason, I couldn't delete them that I was following them. And that person was a gentleman by the name of Art Bell. Now, some of you may or may not know who Art Bell was, but he did a late night radio program and it started at midnight and it went to around 6 in the morning. And he was located in Pahrump, Nevada. And it was just all sorts of crazy, UFO talk and conspiracy theories and whatever. And I remember being a kid and my uncle used to listen to Art Bell religiously. And I remember being up and he'd have the little transistor radio on and I'd be at his house and he'd have a little transistor radio on and he'd be listening to, and I'd say, "What are you listening to Art Bell?" And I would sit there and I listened to him because I mean, the stuff he talked about, fascinated me as a child. It absolutely fascinated me. Like I've talked about this maybe before when we were, like I was down in Nevada or in Las Vegas, I guess last October. And I had the opportunity, to make a choice of either I was going to go see the Grand Canyon or I was going in a different direction and I was going to the north gate of Area 51 and drive on the extraterrestrial highway and, go to Rachel, Nevada, where the little alien cafe is. And so my choices were the Grand Canyon or Area 51. And I'm sure, Sheila, you can probably already guess where we went.
Yep.
And just to be able to stand there, at 50 years old, it was incredible. Like it's making me emotional even like to think about it. Like it was incredible. Like and people, don't really think much about stuff like that, but I mean, I thought about that place like ever since I was old enough to think about it and thought so much about it and to be able to just even though I couldn't go any further than, the security gate there and there's big signs like don't take pictures and this and that and I've got my camera and I'm taking pictures by the sign, waving and everything like I was there and it was it was something like it was just like even just the energy and whatever of just standing on the ground there at that military installation like to know like okay it's really here in the desert like it's in the middle of nowhere in the desert and I mean very I didn't see anyone else out there that day like I mean it's not a big tourist place to go or whatever but I mean I went there and it was incredible. It was absolutely,
Well, if you haven't
absolutely
had the
incredible.
opportunity to see it, my son informed me that I needed to see the this movie called The Age of Disclosure. It's on Prime, and so we watched it. And I don't know if everybody is aware, but they really have now actually admitted all that conspiracy around the Roswell crash is
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
and they have
Absolutely.
publicly and truthfully admitted so much of what my ancestor has said to have done in regards to, the MJ 12 and all that kind of stuff with the crash and the retrieval of bodies and all of that has, they are admitting it. Now, of course, I was born at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and I have stories that my father shared with me, and so you know there's lots and lots and lots there. There's lots and lots there. There's a multiple reasons why you yourself are being handled, and the same for me.
Well,
Uh,
I also come from a very distinguished military family.
right,
Like the same thing. Like I have family that was very high up officers with Canadian Armed Forces. I mean, I had,
right.
family members killed overseas in
Which
World
is
War
another
II.
reason why your high frequency is being kept. Now, here's the thing for me, Jason. They know they cannot stop you, just like they know they cannot stop
Oh
me.
no, they can stop me.
Well, oh, okay,
But the
but
thing is they can stop me, but what I've done and the way I've kind of positioned myself is almost like in a chess game. And I have done certain things, to take my work and kind of, basically think about it like this. You're in an airplane with a bit like during the war, like when they used to do propaganda flyers, like they would basically print off a million flyers. They would jump in an airplane, they'd fly over a city and they'd just dump bags of flyers out to get the message out. That's what I'm doing digitally. That's what I think of myself doing digitally. Like it's not you just take me, okay, you can take me out, but the thing is it's spreading now and it's spread. It's spread. So it's
well,
really
that's actually
now
what I mean.
that
They
it's
can slow
spread
you
to bring it
down.
back in. Or,
They
or, or
can
they can
slow
no, they,
you
they can
down.
they can take me out too.
But,
They can take me
well,
out.
okay. If
Well,
you believe that, I
sure,
guess they
if I
can.
died, I'd be taken out, correct?
Yes, I suppose. I suppose you're correct, but I don't think it would go that far. Or at least I don't think that about me, for me anyway. But
Never know.
you never know. You're right.
But
So,
anyways, I'm gonna run. But before I go, I just wanted to say I see you're wearing oxygen,
yes.
and I'm very happy to see you back in front of the camera
Well,
because
thank
we've
you.
been gone for for quite a while, and
The longest ever.
I really missed seeing you, and that's kind of how I put two and two together that something was up, and then a while ago I checked on your that first video that came out a while ago after your absence, and I seen you with the oxygen, and then we've spoken on the phone since then, and I want to say you look extremely well. Other than the oxygen, you look like you're coming back to
Yeah.
life.
Yep. I
And just having this conversation with you, and we've sat here now for over an hour, and you're okay, and your eyes are sparkling, and you're smiling,
well,
and
thank you.
which is good. And I know things are, probably difficult with mobility, with the oxygen and stuff like that. And I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you, Sheila, and I
Well,
consider
thank
you a
you.
friend of mine. And I've been dealing with some health issues myself. I ended up
I
with a
know.
really bad infection in my foot and leg. I'm a diabetic. And I go to the hospital every single day now for probably the last 6 weeks for IV antibiotic injections. And I'm working with an incredible team of doctors. And I think I'm kind of on the mend a little bit. I'm still not anywhere near out of the woods yet. And there's been lots of times where I said like I think like I had a massive heart attack 5 years ago and I should have never lived through it. And I think a lot of times like another thing about the whole Facebook thing was is I considered it a personal archive so that if something does happen to me that my kids will have something that they're able to look back and see that I created. And they've taken that away. Fortunately, I have enough, printed off material, and I have my original manuscripts that I did like 2 years ago and stuff like that all safely put away for, when that day comes. I've kind of also ventured off a little bit into starting to create music and stuff like that. And anyone that's, you know, followed any of that stuff that I'm kind of playing around with, like it's really incredible. And I mean, the technology that we have access to today, it's just absolutely mind-blowing and incredible. It's incredible. It's like new state-of-the-art tools. I mean, we used to use this, you know what I mean? Like we don't use this anymore. This is like it will be in a museum soon. But I
Well,
mean,
before you and I disconnect, I want you to stay right there. And well, no, I have no way of stopping this without dumping us both out. So I'm just going to say it on camera. Um, we need to connect in regards to what you've got going on with that, because I have some recommendations and some ideas for you that would help with your diabetes and some ideas that I would like to share with you. So let's make some time to do a Zoom between you and I again, where I can share these things with you. That because in 2014, I truly was on my way off the planet. I was on oxygen then, and what's happened here uh, is very close to what was going on with me then. But I know the way to pull myself back from this. And that is why I know that I'm on the way back. And so, I'd love to share that with you. And you already know at least part of what I'm going to say. It has to do with water. It has to do with making sure you're getting enough. And I know that you don't. And
this is water.
no, it is not water. And please don't get me started because that is not a very good thing for you at
I know,
all.
I know, I know,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
know.
so,
You want to know what you want to know what the biggest thing for me is, Sheila, and I'll be completely honest. If I was to leave tomorrow, I'm okay. I'm
no,
okay.
I realize that
I'm
that's
okay with
true.
that. I'm okay with that. I have no regrets about the life that I've lived. And I mean,
I
I have
realize that
some,
that's
I
true.
still have some guilty pleasures, but I have absolutely no regrets about the life that I've lived at all. And I am not afraid, because I have crossed the threshold before. I have crossed the
No,
threshold
I
before.
know you have.
So, I mean, I have a little bit of a different perspective than a lot of people because of a few of those experiences that I've had. And I mean, I don't want to. But I
Well,
mean,
see,
because
that's what I'm saying. If you don't want to, there are
but it's
things
not.
you can
But
do.
here's the thing, Sheila. Like, it's not up to us. As much as we like to
Well,
think
I
it is, I
realize that
think.
that's true too, but there are things that you can do to mitigate
Yeah,
issues.
no, I agree with you. There's things that we think we can do, but when our time's up, Sheila, it's
No,
up.
that's true. You're absolutely right. And I'm in the same boat as you are. I am not afraid at
Yeah.
all on
Yeah,
any sort of
like
level.
if you were to pass away tomorrow, like look at all your recordings that are still on YouTube. I mean, look at
That's
everything.
right.
I mean, you don't just disappear, like you're still here.
Right. And now the difference between you and me is that I knew from jump that they were going to shut my channel down. I don't know how I knew, like we
Yeah,
said before, but I knew. And all of my recordings, because when they shut Conscious Conversation Central down, I had over 1,500 conversations on
yeah,
that channel.
yeah,
And luckily for me, I saved them all. And
yeah,
I still have them. And someday, if someone wants to assist, I'll re-upload all of them.
yeah,
And honestly, I haven't done that because all of those or most of those conversations are still available and still on. See, that's the thing when I tell you this is a frequential thing, that's how I know.
yeah,
Because almost all of those conversations are still on the internet. They always have been. They just weren't on my channel. But the
yeah,
channel that they also live upon wasn't taken down, only mine.
yeah,
And so that's very interesting. And what makes me say again, it's a frequential thing.
yeah. But
All
anyway,
right,
Sheila,
Randall,
I gotta run here
I
because I gotta get
gotcha.
ready to actually go get my daily dose of antibiotics. I always
Ah,
wonder like what they're injecting into me there, right? But I mean, I don't know. Like I can tell you this, like since I started taking it and where I was when I first was told I have to take this or else, I've come like night and day, but I mean, I'm still not even close out of the woods, and it really impacts me. Some I love swimming and I love being in the water, and I we have a hot tub here and whatever, and I haven't been in there for like months and months and months and months, and I like just to go out there by myself
mm.
and sit in the hot tub now that it's winter and I can't do anything like that because of
Well, that's why I say we need to mitigate some of this so you can stop that.
yeah, no, but it's coming. It's definitely coming along. But I got to run here. And
Okay.
I just want to say once again, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And to all that have, watched us and for the people that, follow me or whatever or see something with what I do, I want to say to you too, thank you. And I appreciate every last one of you. And hopefully at some point in the near future, you will be able to lay your hands on a book. And it's not just going to be one book because, as you can see from that file being over 3,000 pages, just that one file, it's going to turn out to be a series of books. And there's new material coming steadily on X. So it's going to turn out to be something. And with that, have a
Okay.
great night, Sheila.
Bye bye, sweetie heart.
Talk soon.
Okay.
Okay.
And I want to tell everyone, as Jason leaves, oh, hold on a second now. Oh, crap. I don't know. Okay. It wanted me to report him or something. I just wanted to tell everyone that this was a live conversation on Sassy Seer Sheila. And if you are watching this later on New Light Streaming Love. It is after the fact. And just to let you know, Julie, I tried to do this on Facebook on my own personal page, and Zoom wouldn't connect to Facebook for some reason. And that was the only way I could make sure that we had this uh, recording was to do it on YouTube. So I will send you the link just as soon as it renders, and you can put it up on that page if you like. And let's see, Angela said, good to see you both. Happy holidays. Well, thank you all for being here. And You can look for me to be coming back. This is proving to me, actually, I've been here for 2 hours, that I can do this without too much trouble. I actually didn't test my oxygen level, but I don't feel any worse for the wear. So I think I'll be back this week. Until we meet again, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself. What if that is your only mission? What if in doing that, you find what your mission is to be? Because when you transmit that joy into your surroundings, what if that is your mission? Because you affect everything around you. I mean, that is the truth of it. I've now proven that to myself. The frequency that you emit can change the energy in a room. You know that for yourself. So move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself. And then question everything, like Jason said. Until we meet again, be well, my friends.